Good Tuesday morning to you, students. Hope you guys are doing well and ready to learn some geometry this morning. Grab whatever you need there, notebooks, pencils, calculators, books. Let's get ready to roll. We'll have a quiz on Friday like I told you yesterday, and we'll review for that quiz on Thursday. However, here's the really good news. Are you ready for this? Everybody's sitting down, got your objects ready to throw at the screen. We're going to have a quiz tomorrow also. Now, this quiz tomorrow is not being given to you to bolster your average. It's being done because I know how important it is that you know the characteristics of the two special types of triangles we've learned. So I'm giving you a quiz tomorrow. It is amazingly easy. However, if you don't study, you're going to do very poorly because I'm going to have no mercy on you. This is so simple. So tomorrow when you walk in the door, the video is going to say, okay, students, get out a blank sheet of paper and pause the video. I want you to write the three sets of characteristics for your two special triangles. And you'll pause the video and you'll write this on your notebook paper. You know what? We're going to go in order of how we learned it. I don't care what order you go on in the quiz, but here's what you're going to do. You're going to write 45, 45, 90. Then you're going to write characteristic number one. Let's see. I'm drawing a blank. What was it? It was hypotenuse equals leg times the square root of 2. And then you will write the leg equals the hypotenuse divided by the square root of 2. And then you'll write leg equals leg. Isn't that easy? If you can't go home and memorize those, then that's really not my fault. Okay, that's pretty simple. And then right beside it on your quiz, you'll write 30, 60, 90. And then you'll put number 1, LL, because longer leg. You can't just put leg. There's a long leg and a short leg. So the longer leg equals the shorter leg times the square root of 3. And you will put the shorter leg equals the longer leg divided by the square root of 3. And then number 3, you will write H is always twice the shorter leg. There you go. That's your quiz for tomorrow. So again, tomorrow you're going to walk in. I'm going to say good Wednesday morning to you. How you guys doing? Great. Yada, yada, yada. You got a blank sheet of paper and pause the video and write down from memory the three characteristics of a 45, 45, 90 triangle and a 30, 60, 90 triangle. Okay? So that's a quiz for tomorrow. That is supposed to be a blessing, not a curse. It's a blessing in two ways. Number one, you need to know this, okay? This is mega important. So I'm going to make you learn it. And number two, it's easy. It is so easy. Go home. Come up with a poem. Come up with a rhyme, something where you can remember this, okay? I'm not going to rap it for you now or anything like that, but you figure out a way. I'm glad you are glad about that. But you're going to figure out a way to learn this, okay? All right, we're going to do what I call kind of a shotgun review method. Usually I want you to write things down. Today, I'm going to do not a shotgun, called a machine gun rapid fire type of review, okay? I'm going to very quickly, in about 2 minutes or less, go through everything we've learned so far in this chapter, okay? And I don't want you to take notes. I want you to sit back, relax, and just watch, and then we'll get into today's notes, all right? So here we go. When we started this chapter, we looked at the square root of 32 and we learned how to solve it or simplify it, okay? To solve it, and again, you're not trying to take notes, you're just watching. To solve the square root of 32, you would type that into your calculator and you would get 5.67. That's called solving, okay? And then when I taught you to simplify a square root, I told you to list out all of the perfect squares off to the side. In fact, it's kind of funny. I don't know why I have a 2, because 2 is not a perfect square. There, 2 times 2, 3 times 3, 4 times 4, 5 times 5, all the way up to 13 times 13. And you say to yourself, self, do any of these numbers divide into 32 evenly? Well, 16 times 2 does. So we know the square root of 16. Hold on one second. My computer is not working. There we go. You know the square root of 16 is 4, so you cross up the 16, put a 4 on the outside, and your final answer is 4 square root of 2. Again, I'm just trying to review. I'm not asking you to teach the class. I'm not asking you to take a quiz over this. I'm just saying this should, worst case scenario, look familiar. Best case scenario, you should know how to do this. Then we talked about multiplying radicals. 6 square root of 3 times 2 square root of 3. And we said multiply the outside times the outside and the inside times the inside. That's 12. 6 times 2 is 12. 3 times 15 is 45. Then if I asked you to solve that, you would type it into your calculator and you would get out 80.50. 80.50. If I asked you to simplify it, well, you would list out your perfect squares. Again, that 2 should not be there. There we go. And you would see that 9 goes into 45. See that 9 right here? 9 times 5 is 45. And you know the square root of 9 is 3, so cross off the 9, put a 3 on the outside, and you multiply the 3 and the 12, and you get 36 square root of 5. And then we talked about Pythagorean's theorem. Anytime you have a right triangle and you know two sides, you can find the other side. So Pythagorean's theorem is L squared plus L squared equals 8 squared. Put both legs in, 6 and 7, square them, add them together, you'll get 85. Take the square root of both sides, you'll get 9.2. 9.2. Again, I'm going fast on purpose. I'm not quizzing you on this. I'm just trying to get a real quick review, at least to make this look familiar. Okay, then here's another problem for Pythagorean's theorem. We know the hypotenuse, which is 12, and a leg, which is 10. There's Pythagorean's theorem. For one leg we put an x, for one leg we put a 10, and for the hypotenuse we put a 12. Square the 10, square the 12, you get 144. Then we're going to subtract 100 from both sides. Subtract 100 from both sides, and you're left with 44. L squared equals 44. Take the square root of both sides, 6.6. Then we talked about 45, 45, 90 triangles, and there's the three formulas you need. All right, there's the triangle right there. Now, let's watch carefully what I do here with my pen. Okay, I wanted to work these out in front of you. First of all, with a 45, 45, 90 degree triangle, we know the legs. Here's one leg, and here's the other leg. We know the legs are always equal. So if this leg is 5, then this leg is 5. So x equals 5. There we go. Now, how do you find the hypotenuse? Well, look up here at your formulas right here. H equals leg times square root of 2. So H equals leg times square root of 2. So the hypotenuse equals, what is your leg? It's 5. So 5 square root of 2. There's your answer. All right, let's go on to the next one. Okay, I don't know either leg. I do not know a leg. So I look up here. Yes, I know that legs equal legs, but that's not going to help me here. But I look at this. I have a formula for finding the leg of a 45, 45, 90 triangle. So leg equals hypotenuse over square root of 2. So my leg equals, here's the h right here. I'm going to put 8 square root of 2. So 8 square root of 2 over square root of 2. Those cancel, and my leg equals 8. So that means x equals 8, and y also equals 8. And then we learned with a 30, 60, 90 triangle, we have these formulas right here. Now, I taught you with a 30, 60, 90 triangle, the first thing you always want to do is label your three sides, because the legs are not congruent like a 45, 45, 90. So here's the right angle pointing over here. This is my hypotenuse. Here's 60, that's the bigger angle, go straight across. This is my longer leg. Here's 30, go straight across. This is my shorter leg. Okay? So with that in mind, I'm trying to find the longer leg and the hypotenuse. Now, first of all, let's do the hypotenuse. That's easy. Look at the hypotenuse. Everybody see this? The hypotenuse, follow the pin here, the hypotenuse is always twice the shorter leg. Well, if the shorter leg is 4, double that, the hypotenuse has to be 8. So y equals 8. All right. Now the longer leg, here's our formula right here. Do you see it? Longer, I'm not sure why I put an S for longer. Longer leg equals shorter leg times the square root of 3. So longer leg equals shorter leg, which is 4, square root of 3. So x equals 4 square root of 3. Again, I'm going fast, just a quick review. All right, now how about this? How about, well, let's first of all label our sides. Here's my right angle, so this is my hypotenuse here. Here's 60, that's the bigger angle, so this over here is my longer leg. Here's 30, so go straight across, this is my shorter leg. Now, it looks like I'm missing the hypotenuse and the shorter leg. Well, you can't find the hypotenuse. Okay, the hypotenuse is always twice the shorter leg, and you don't know what the shorter leg is. So we're going to have to start with find the shorter leg first. And my formula right here tells me the shorter leg equals the longer leg divided by the square root of 3. So shorter leg equals longer leg, which is 5 square root of 3 over square root of 3. So those cancel, and the shorter leg equals 5. So x equals 5. There we go. Now what does the hypotenuse always equal? Twice the shorter leg. So the shorter leg is 5, so the hypotenuse y has to equal 10. All right. Moving on, last one. Okay. Here's my right angle. It points across to my hypotenuse. So there's the hypotenuse. Here's 60. That's the bigger angle. It points across to my longer leg. Here's 30. Go across. This is my shorter leg. All right, well, I know the hypotenuse. And what do I know about the hypotenuse? It's always twice as big as the shorter leg. So if the hypotenuse is twice as big as the shorter leg and the hypotenuse is 12, then y has to be 6, half of that. Now, how do I find the longer leg? Right here. Longer leg equals shorter leg times the square root of 3. So longer leg equals, now what is the shorter leg? It's 6. So 6 square root of 3. So there we go. That should pretty much finish our review. I just wanted to quickly rapid fire. I did say 2 minutes. That was more like 8 minutes. I apologize, but nonetheless, a quick review of everything we've learned in the chapter. So you know what? That either encourages you or that discourages you, one of the two, because either you really remember that and you're doing okay, you might not be ready for a test yet, but you're feeling pretty confident, or you've got some work to catch up on. So all the videos are posted on YouTube. You can watch them, you can do your homework. All of that's there to help you. Okay, now you do owe me homework from yesterday, so let's take about 1 minute and quickly turn that in. Make sure your name is on it. Turn your homework in at this time, please. And then we're going to jump right into our notes. So please pass your homework in at this time, and let's get ready to take some notes. Give you guys another second to do that. Please pass your homework in. And let's roll. If there's any problems, you can always pause the video. I'm going to go ahead and move on. Okay, we are looking today. Let me get the screensaver off. There we go. We're looking today. We're getting into the trigonometric functions. They're called sine, cosine, and tangent. And there's really nothing cooler in math, in my opinion, than trig. Trig is one of the best things you'll ever learn. It's very practical, and it's really a lot of fun if you keep it simple, and we're going to keep it pretty simple. And I'm going to explain this well. If you just listen and trust me and take notes, you should be fine, okay? Now we're going to start off today with one of the trig functions called tangent. So please write this in your notes. We're going to look today at the tangent ratio. The tangent ratio. That's lesson 10.4, and the date today is the 30th. So please write all of that in your notes, April 30th. Okay? We're going to look today at the tangent ratio. Now, I'd like you to write some sentences down, all right? So here we go. Please copy this in your notes. We'll be looking at 3 trig functions. 3 trig functions in this chapter: sine, cosine, and tangent. Would you copy that in your notes, please? The abbreviation for sine, by the way, looks like sin. It's S-I-N, and that simply means sine. The abbreviation for cosine looks like cos, C-O-S. And the abbreviation for tangent looks like tan, like the color tan, T-A-N. And those are abbreviations for sine, cosine, and tangent, okay? We'll be looking at 3 trig functions: sine, cosine, and tangent. Okay, moving on. Write this sentence down, please. These 3 trig functions only work on right triangles. It's just like Pythagorean's theorem. You can't use excuse me, you can't use Pythagorean's theorem on an acute triangle. It doesn't work, okay? Pythagorean's theorem only works on right triangles. Well, sine, cosine, and tangent only work on right triangles. Write that down. You need to know that. Okay, copy down this last sentence, and we're going to jump right into the math. I'm going to give you a formula, and we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4 problems, then some quick calculator problems that take about 1 second each. And then I want you to start working on your homework. Write this sentence down, please. When you are asked to find the tangent of an angle, you are simply finding the ratio of 2 sides of a triangle. Students, I promise you, it's that easy. Whenever you are asked to find the tangent of an angle, find the tangent of this angle, you are simply finding the ratio, that means a fraction, the ratio of 2 sides of a triangle. It's that simple, okay? In fact, you need the formula. So I'm going to go ahead and give the formula right now. Write this down. When I ask you to find the tangent of an angle, we're going to call it angle X. Go ahead and put a degree symbol right there. Whenever I ask you to find the tangent of an angle, you are going to use the ratio opposite over adjacent. There's the formula. Write that down. Whenever you are asked to find the tangent of an angle, you simply use opposite over adjacent. Isn't it that easy? I mean, it's just pretty simple. So if you can memorize, we call that TOA. See the T, and then the O, and then the A. That's a really good way to memorize it. TOA. Okay, later on when we do sine, cosine, and tangent, we're going to learn a little phrase called SOHCAHTOA. SOHCAHTOA. Now, we're not going to worry about that today because we're not learning the other trig functions, okay? But you can remember this by TOA. T stands for tangent. Top word is opposite. And the bottom word in your ratio is adjacent. TOA, okay? So with that in mind, let's go ahead and jump into the problems for today. So here we go. I would like us to start finding the tangent of some angles. So without any further ado, let me get my shape recognition button up here. I'd like you to draw this right triangle in your notes, please. All right, draw that right triangle. Label that right angle right there. And we're going to call this triangle RST. You're going to have to write quickly to stay up with me, okay? This side has a length of 8, this side has a length of 4, and this side has a length of 4 square root of 3. Now here's what I'd like us to do. I would like us to find the tangent of a couple different angles, all right? I'll pause just a second. Let me get a drink of water here while you guys quickly finish writing this triangle in your notes. Okay, here we go. Now, I would like us to start off by finding the tangent of R, okay? Are you ready? Let's find the tangent of angle R. Now, everybody follow my steps here. I'm going to take my blue pen, and I'm going to put it right here on this angle right here. I wouldn't circle it because we're going to deal with other angles in a little bit, but I'm going to put my pen on angle R, okay? Now, go straight across. Isn't that opposite? If I told you to look opposite across the room, you would look the opposite way that you're at right now, opposite, okay? So if I say the opposite side of angle R, and why did I go to angle R? Because I said tangent of R. So put your, if this would have been S, then you put your pen on S, but I said tangent of R. So you put your pen on R and go straight across to the opposite side and go ahead and label that opposite. Isn't that easy? That's so easy. And now we know what 8 is, right? I mean, we definitely know that by now. 8 is called your what? Hypotenuse. So we call that hypotenuse. So there's only one other word left we haven't used. Look back at your formula. Adjacent. That's the only word we haven't used. So the only, I've always taught my students, find the opposite side. You know what the hypotenuse is, so the other side has to be called adjacent. There's no other side left. So there, you did it. You labeled all your sides. Pretty easy. So, what is the tangent of R? Well, we know the formula is what? Opposite over adjacent. So what is my answer going to be? Well, what's the opposite side? That goes up top right here. Opposite is 4. What's your adjacent side? 4 square root of 3. So 4 square root of 3. Now, if you want to reduce this and cross your 4's off, that's fine. But if you do that, don't forget what's still up top. There's still a 1 there. If there's nothing left, you got to put a 1. So 1 over square root of 3. Now, if you'll type that into your calculator, which I don't have right now, I'm going to quickly borrow my son's here. And I apologize for not having this done. You'll get 0.577. Now, if you're not getting that, you need to stop right now and get some, pause the video and get some help from some friends, okay? Because you need to get 0.5773502.692. Okay, so, and you can round wherever you want, but that's how you find the tangent of R. So that's pretty cool. Okay, now remember, practice makes perfect, or at least perfect practice makes perfect. Let's try another one. Write this down, please. What if I asked you to find the tangent of S? The tangent of S. Now we know what the formula is. Write this down. We know the formula of tangent is opposite over adjacent, right? We know that. All right. Now what angle are we using? It's not R. It's a different problem. S. Tangent of S. So I'm going to put my pen on S right here and then go straight across. Ooh, now this side has changed names. Now we're not going to call it adjacent. Do you see what I'm saying? When you switch angles, we're talking about angels now. When you switch angles, We went from angle R to angle S. Then some of your names are going to change here. So it really matters, students, what angle we're talking about. We're talking about the tangent of S. Okay, S. So I go up here to S and now go straight across. So now this side over here is my opposite side. Okay. Well, this is still hypotenuse. That's not going to change. As long as this is your right angle right here, the hypotenuse is not going to change. So now the only side left is this side, so we call this our adjacent side. So now what's the tangent of S? Well, let's see. Opposite goes up top. That's 4 square root of 3. And adjacent goes in the bottom. That's 4. So 4. 4's cancel. And you're left with square root of 3. Now, if you type that into your calculator, and again, right now my son and I are kind of sharing a calculator, but square root of 3 would be 1.73. 1.73. All right, so let's move on. Let's try a couple more. All right, need to practice, practice, practice. All right, write this in your notes. Type, or not type, write this into your notes. Okay, here's your right angle. And we have a side right here of 18, a length of 18, a length of 30, and a length of 24. Now, I want us to find, let's go ahead and do a couple of different problems. I guess I better give you some letters. We're going to call this triangle GHJ. So go ahead and get that set up. I'm going to wait just a second, and we're going to move on. I might only do 3 of these and get you into your notes right away. Okay? All right. Now, what if I asked you to find the tangent of G? Can you do that? You can work ahead or watch me. I want you to find the tangent of G. Now, what trig function did I say? Sine, cosine, or tangent? I said tangent. So what's the formula for tangent? Well, remember what I taught you? TOA. TOA. Tangent is opposite over adjacent. Okay? So we go to G. So here's my pen. Angle G, go to G. The first thing you do is go straight across to the opposite side, and we call that side opposite. Now, next, find the hypotenuse. Here's your right angle. Go straight across. This is your hip. All right? And then there's only one side left. That's got to be your adjacent side. There we go. So how do you find the tangent of G? Opposite over adjacent. What's your opposite side? 24. What's your adjacent side? 18. Reduce that by 6, and you will get 4/3. I would accept that answer. Or if you want to put 1.3 repeating, type in 4 divided by 3. You get that. It's totally fine. Totally fine. All right, let's move on. Practice, practice, practice. What if I asked you to find the tangent of J? The tangent of J. Well, what did I say? Sine, cosine, or tangent? I said tangent. So the formula for tangent is opposite. I'm going to keep going over that because we're going to do all 3 trig functions before the chapter's over, and you got to learn to ask yourself, okay, are we doing tangent? Are we doing sine? Are we doing cosine, etc.? So tangent of J. What's the formula for tangent? Opposite over adjacent. Now take your pen. We're dealing with what angle? J. So go to J. Now go straight across. Oop, this name has changed. This is now your opposite side. Hypotenuse stays the same, so there's only one side left. So this must be your adjacent side. So there we go. How do you find the tangent of J? Opposite over adjacent. Well, look up here. My opposite side is 18. That goes up top. My adjacent side is 24. That goes in the bottom. If you reduce that, you get 3/4, and you're more than welcome to write 3/4 for your answer, or 0.75. Let's do one more. I'm going to turn you loose on your homework. One more. All right? Now, this is baby steps. I know that, and they're going to get harder, unfortunately. We're going to do some word problems, and which will probably make some grown women cry, and that's fine. But we're still got to start off somewhere. So we're starting off kind of easy and getting your feet wet here. All right? So we're going to call this triangle SRT, and we have lengths of 8, 6, and 10. All right? And let's go ahead and get our line drawn across. And here we go. Let's see if we can't get this taken care of. Now you can work ahead or watch me, totally up to you. What if I asked you to find the tangent of S? Tangent of S. Well, first of all, whenever I say tangent of an angle, right away you think of the ratio opposite over adjacent. So write that down. Now, what angle are we dealing with? S. So take your pencil and put it on S, and now go straight across. And we're going to call this our opposite side. And then we go to the hypotenuse, and we label that hypotenuse. The only side left is 8. We got to call that adjacent. So there it is, adjacent. All right. So how do you find the tangent of S? Opposite over adjacent. What is opposite? 6. What is adjacent? 8. Reduce that, and you get 3/4 or 0.75. All right, we are cooking. One more, and then we'll get into some calculator problems. What if I said find the tangent of R? Well, as soon as I say find the tangent, you know we're dealing with opposite over adjacent. Excuse me. So we go to angle R. Here's R. Right here, angle R. Go straight across. Okay, this is no longer adjacent. We just changed the name. Now this is called opposite. Hypotenuse stays hypotenuse because the right angle is still right here. And the only side left is this side here. We're going to call that adjacent. So here we go. How do you find the tangent of R? Opposite over adjacent. So opposite is 8. Adjacent is 6. Reduce that, you get 4/3 or 1.3 repeating. Okay? That's it, ladies. Now, I want you to quickly practice some problems with your calculator. What if I don't give you a triangle? What if I just say the angle degree? Like what if I said find the tangent of 74? Okay? Well, your calculators might be in degrees. They might be in radians. We're going to find out right now. You're going to have to find out how to type in the tangent of 74. Let me check what mode I'm in, make sure I'm in degrees. See, I was in radians, so it's a good thing I checked. Okay. If I said tangent of 74, just type that into your calculator. You should get this out. Now, I wish I could be there to help you. You might have to go to Miss Walker or Miss Calvert later and say, hey, my calculator is not in degrees. Can you help me get my calculator in degrees? All right? Throwing it against the wall quite often helps. I'm kidding. So tangent of 74, if your calculator is in the right mode, you should get 3.487. If not, try to figure it out on your own. Let's do a couple more. If I asked you to type in, if I said find the tangent of 35, but I didn't give you the triangle, so you had no two sides to write the ratio, then just simply type it into your calculator. Your calculator will do it for you. So the tangent of 35, you should get this out, 0.7002. If you're not getting those numbers, you need to finagle with your calculator, and you're doing one of two things wrong. Either you don't have it in degree mode, or you're just simply typing it in wrong. I'm not there to help you, so I don't know. We'll do one more. Let's find the tangent of 59. Now, normally you want to use opposite over adjacent, but you can't because I didn't give you a triangle anywhere. You don't have a triangle. So simply use your calculator, tangent of 59 degrees, and you'll get 1.6643. 1.6643. I rounded that. Really, it's 1.664279482. All right, and there we go. So I hope you're getting this. If not, I'm an email or a phone call away. We're about ready to start the homework now, and so you'll also have a video. You're welcome to load that video and watch it if it helps you. Berean Academy Geometry bag 10-4, and then homework. Okay? And then we're going to finish 10.4 tomorrow. So Berean Academy Geometry 10-4 space homework, and that will help you with your homework. Okay? Hope you guys have a great rest of the day, great class period. Quiz tomorrow. You're going to simply walk in and write the 3 characteristics of a 30, 60, 90 with, of course, no help, no notes, no cheating, nothing like that, and the 3 characteristics of a 45, 45, 90 triangle, and turn that in. That's an easy 100. That is such an easy 100. So please study and be ready for that.